tribe. So it's early morning in Utrecht in the Netherlands. I've just walked Ryan to the station. He's going to the airport to fly back to Boulder. We've had here in Holland, we've had one 5-day retreat and one 5-day festival back to back, and so he's flying back now. But I wanted to take a moment. It is now like a little bit after 7:30 in the morning. I've had 3 hours of sleep last night and I feel fantastic. So I've been experiencing and experimenting with the Polyphasic Sleep schedule for a few weeks now, and I would like to share some findings with you because I've failed miserably and I've also succeeded marvelously at some different methods. So I want to share with you both what my sleep schedule is now and how I've been able to access a few extra hours every day and actually feeling better, as well as some sleep hacks that I use to just maximize the time and the effortlessness of this. So this is not the first time that I've been experimenting with the Polyphasic Sleep thingy. I read The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss a few years ago when it came out, and I tried the Uberman Sleep and a few other things as well, and it didn't really feel that great. And so when I say successfully been experimenting, I mean that I can sleep less and actually have more energy, because to sleep less and feel like a zombie during the whole day is kind of pointless. So when I first started, I wanted to do the triphasic sleep, which is like 3 times 1.5 hours is what I started with. So sleeping between 10:30 and midnight, and then having 5 hours of creative time or work time during the night, and then 5 to 6:30 a.m. sleep again, and then another hour and a half in the afternoon whenever I would feel tired. And I tried this for about 5 days and it failed so completely, because every night when I had set my alarm for like midnight, or if I went to sleep at 11:30, I would set it at 1 a.m. No matter how many alarms I had, no matter how much I tried to wake up, it didn't work. My body yes, I'm awake, no, I'm back to sleep. And then I would wake up, the second alarm, which would be 6:30, and get up and basically had like a good night's sleep, but I wouldn't have had those extra 5 hours during the night, so that didn't work. So then what I started to do is to instead simply allow myself to go to sleep however late I wanted to, because my life is such that I travel a lot, I give retreats and I teach in different places, and often there are like events and parties going on until like crazy o'clock in the night and going to bed very, very late. So I would basically just allow myself to go to sleep however late I want, but have the wake up time be consistent. So I get up at 6:30 a.m. no matter what. Even if I go to bed at 5 a.m. and I just have an hour and a half, or if I go to bed like last night, I went to bed at like 3:30, and then I went to bed at 3 and I got up at 6. So because we had to go to the station a bit earlier, but generally like 6:30 is my wake up time. And even if I then feel tired, it's okay, because then what I do is that I have as many 12-minute naps as I want during the day. So I love the 12-minute naps. I want to write a song to the 12-minute nap. I want to build an altar to the 12-minute nap. The 12-minute nap is amazing. For some reason, I don't know why, you can probably Google this shit up to find the scientific explanation for it, but the 12-minute nap seems to work a lot better for me than the 20-minute nap. And it doesn't mean that I sleep for 12 minutes, it just means that I just start to begin to dip into that state of like the in-between state, going into sleep, and then I wake up. And somehow, even if I'm super foggy and groggy before, it's like a total reset and it's like a new day. I feel fully rested and I can continue. So now, for example, I feel fantastic, but I'm anticipating that at some point, maybe in the early afternoon, I'm gonna have a dip, then I'm gonna lay down for 12 minutes. And when I say 12-minute nap, here's how to maximize it. This is really important, or at least this works for me. So I have 12 minutes of Delta Brainwave music, which is the slow wave sleep, deep state of sleep, meaning that even if I don't go to sleep, my brain is going to be in that state of Delta. So even if I can still hear the sounds around me and everything, my brain is still having that deep state of rest. So I have 12 minutes of Delta Brainwave music, which usually, these tracks are usually like 1 hour, so I'll just go to like the 48 or 47-minute mark and play that. And then in my playlist, I'll have some kind of happy wake-uppy song, which might be R&B or something happy, or it might be house or trap or something that really feels like juicy and sensual, or whatever I'm in the mood for. But some, like my favorite song at the moment and I can put maybe like my favorite songs, just the ones that I like to wake up to tonight, and you can right now, and you can also put your favorite wake uppy songs down below, then we can share it with each other. And I'll also put some links down below, by the way, to the brainwave music that I use, because there are different songs you can use to get into the state of delta, of deep sleep, of theta, of vision and meditation and insight, the pre-thought state, or in alpha of creative thinking and learning, or gamma waves of peak performance, or beta waves of the highly activated alert awake state. So you can find that. Kelly Howell is my favorite for this one, and please, if you have found other ones, then please share, because I've been listening to these for years, so I would love to have some new input from music as well. So I have 12 minutes of delta brainwave music followed by a wake uppy song. And during the night I also do the same thing. So unless I'm with someone and we're cuddling or sleeping together, if I'm alone, I pretty much always sleep with headphones. And I have continuous delta brainwave music, meaning that I'm going to spend more time in the slow wave restorative sleep than I would normally do during an average sleep cycle. And then I also make sure that whenever my alarm is set, and I always time this in chunks of 90 minutes, so either I sleep for an hour and a half, or 3 hours, or 4.5 hours, or 6 hours, or 7.5 hours, plus maybe like 10 minutes before, just to get into the sleep state, because that means like it's a full sleep cycle, and it loops like this. And if I wake up in the middle of sleep cycle, I tend to be more groggy. So here's how I do it. If I, for example, say I'll have, it's 4.5 hours until I need to wake up, then I'll put like 4 hours of delta brainwave music, so like the biggest chunk of time in the deep slow wave state of sleep, and then half an hour or maybe 20 minutes of the theta or alpha brainwave music, which is more like the meditative state, but it's not deep sleep. And then the last 10 minutes before my alarm goes off, I'll have beta or gamma brainwave music, usually beta, because that really gets my body naturally into the more awakened state. And my alarm, once it does go off, is always some kind of music that I love waking up to. So it's not some horrible sound that makes my whole body contract and go, no, shut up. But it's more like, yeah, when I wake up to this music. So that's also a tip, if that's a function on your phone that you can set. Or even just in your playlist. Like if you make a playlist of like slow wave delta music, followed by some half an hour theta, followed by like 10 minutes of beta, and then some super upbeat song that just will definitely wake you up. That I find to be like a very reliable alarm. Maybe not something to use if you're gonna catch a flight, but otherwise then that's, will work just fantastic. I have the Bose noise cancelling headphones. I'm also waiting for the Cocoon, which is like marketed as the ultimate sleep sanctuary. These like super comfy headphones you can sleep on your side with, and it's like built-in sleep sensors and lots of cool things. They're sort of just about to release them, I think, so I can put a link to that one down below as well. I also found that laying on a Shakti mat really helps. So this is like this acupressure mat that has like thousands of spikes that you lay on. It sounds a bit crazy, but actually it just brings you very, very, very deep into rest and relaxation, and also takes away any tension in the back if you have like busy mind or headache or a lot of things going on. Then laying on a Shakti mat while listening to this music, I find, and even like having something on top of my eyes, like an eye pillow, maybe even with some essential oils if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, so this is like the extras that you can do, like Shakti mat, brainwave music, eye mask, or just like, I don't know, a sweater over your eyes or something to just give that extra darkness, because it also has to do with pineal gland and the pituitary gland and the release of DMT that is facilitated by darkness. So that's why, for example, people who spend a lot of time like meditating in a cave in total darkness, their brain begins to produce a lot more DMT, so it's important to have darkness for at least a part of the night. And then I find that actually waking up to natural morning light helps me, so I generally have I don't have my blinds down, because then I can just allow the morning light to gradually and gently wake my body up. Let's see if there's anything else. No, I think that's it. So to summarize, I go to bed whenever I want. I always get up at 6:30. 7:30 to 8:30 I will have some kind of morning practice. I always start the day with some kind of stretching. So when I wake up, I usually feel pretty tired just because I'm coming out of the sleep state. very natural. But I used to think when I wake up super tired, used to think that, oh, that means I need more sleep. But no, it just means that I need to give my body the time to wake up. So in my bed, even before I get out of it, I always do some stretching, some spiraling, some twists. Maybe I just sit up gently and I do some side leaning stretches to stretch out. And just by doing this, my body begins to wake up. I usually also begin to massage my feet and my ears, which, like in reflexology and Chinese acupuncture, it represents pretty much the entire body. So by massaging the ears, and if you have neck tension, then massaging and pulling and squeezing the earlobes will release the neck tension, because that's the corresponding part. Then that also begins to activate my body. I then have a shower. I always have a warm or hot shower first and then finish with cold water, which wakes me up, as well as tightens the pores, as well as activates the lymphatic system, so it's good in many different ways. And then start with some kind of physical something to just bring in that further aliveness into my body. And brainwave music, good playlist. I'll put some links to them down below. And if you have other tips, please share it down below as well. But I'm excited for this. This has seriously added so much more quality and quantity of time during the day. I have an extra few hours every day, which over the years will amount to years of extra time that I can utilize for creativity and parties and enjoyment and building my online academy and doing all these things that I want to do and learning a new language. Like, there's so much we can do with the extra time that we have, but it only works if we're actually functional during the time. So in other words, if I've had only a tiny bit of sleep and I'm tired, then I allow myself as many 12-minute naps, which means total resets, as I need during the day. Great. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm excited to keep on exploring this. I'm also curious to hear what you found, if you want to share a video or a comment or anything. So thank you so much. Thank you for Bentinho and Tim Ferriss and everyone for the inspiration. Wish you a